Hello dear children, in our last class we had a discussion on general form of complex numbers and equality of complex numbers. So general form is z is equal to a plus ib, where a and b are the real numbers. What is I here? I is called, it is an imaginary number. I is equal to square root of minus 1. ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. So in this class we are going to discuss about algebra of complex numbers. Algebra ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Basic operations. Addition, second one subtraction, third one multiplication and fourth one division of the complex numbers. So ಯಾವ ತರ add ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? So what are the properties which follows? So we'll discuss here. Algebra of complex numbers. First one, addition of two complex number. So two complex number ಯಾವ ತರ add ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? The second one, difference of two complex number or subtraction of two complex numbers. Third one, multiplication of two complex numbers. And the fourth one, division of two complex numbers. So ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. First I would like to discuss about addition of two complex numbers. ಎರಡು complex numbers ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಯಾವ ತರ add ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? So ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? We will discuss here. Addition of two complex numbers is very important. So generally ನೋಡಿ, so when we have the numbers 2 plus 3, ಹೇಗೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? 2 plus 3 is equal to, will get here 5. Similarly ಅದೇ algebra terms ಇದ್ದಾಗ 2x plus 3x ಇದೆ. So obviously they are like terms ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? We are adding the coefficient and we will write 5x. So this is the case in terms of algebra and numbers. So what about complex number? We in the last class we have discussed general form of complex number. Z is equal to a plus ib. And remember here plus is not usual addition. This is Z is a just combination of numbers. A plus ib. So a andre gottu, a and b are the real numbers and I is equal to square root of minus 1. So this is the case. So here addition of two complex numbers yav ತರ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. Let z1 is equal to a plus I into b and z2 is equal to c plus I into d be the two complex numbers, then the sum z1 plus z2 or the addition of z1 and z2 is z1 plus z2 is defined as follows. Z1 plus z2 is equal to, just observe here, a plus c plus I into b plus d. Okay, so what is a here? A is the real part of complex number z1. What is c? C is also real part of complex number z2. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿವಿ ಅಂದರೆ, we are adding real part of corresponding complex numbers. Real part of z1 plus real part of z2. Similarly second one, plus I into imagine part ಏನಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ b in z1. Similarly imagine part of z2 is d. So b plus d ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. So you will get z1 plus z2 is equal to a plus c plus I into b plus d. It means when we are adding the two complex number, we follow add real part of corresponding complex number plus I into sum of imaginary part of complex number. This is the case. Z1 plus z2 is equal to a plus c plus I into b plus d. This is the addition of two complex numbers. Again, so obviously sum of any two real numbers is again a real numbers. Sum of two natural numbers is again a natural numbers. At the same time, sum of two complex numbers. Here z1 is one complex number, z2 is another complex number. Their sum becomes again complex number. Just observe here, z1 is equal to a plus ib and z2 is equal to c plus id. Their sum z1 plus z2 is equal to a plus c plus I into b plus d. It means nodi, here we have z1 is equal to a plus ib and z2 is equal to c plus id. So obviously these two are complex numbers. There is sum nodi. So z1 plus z2 is equal to, so ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ expression a plus c plus I into b plus d ಬಂತು, right? This is sum of two complex numbers. So what is a? A is the real part of what? Z1. So I'll write this as real part of Z1 plus what is C? C is also real part of what? Z2 plus again for I times of what is b? B is imaginary part of what? Z1. So Im of Z1 plus Im of Z2. This is the sum of two complex number Z1 plus Z2. Take a pause and note on all the things what I have written here. Definition, then this thing. So now dear children, we are moving to the one example on sum of two complex numbers or addition of two complex numbers. One example note on how to find a sum here, already discussed. So when we have Z1 and Z2, when you are finding the sum of these two numbers, always follow add real part plus I into sum of imaginary parts. One example on the same thing. If Z1 is equal to 2 plus I into 3 plus and Z2 is equal to 3 minus I into 2, then find Z1 plus Z2. Okay. So given what is Z1 in ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, just observe Z1 is equal to 2 plus I into 3 and Z2 second complex number 3 minus I into 2 ಇದೆ. How to add these two numbers, right? Then now Z1 plus Z2 is equal to, just observe here, Z1 plus Z2 is equal to, first find the complex, write the complex number 2 plus I into 3 plus 3 minus I into 2 or 2I. So when we are adding these two numbers, always follow real part plus real part. What is the real part of first number? Is 2 plus real part of second complex number is very good, that is 3. 2 plus 3 I. So plus I times of, so imaginary part of Z1 is 3. Okay, now tell me what is the imaginary part of Z2? Is it only 2? No, it is minus 2. So plus minus 12. So now Z1 plus Z2 is equal to 2 plus 3 is 5 plus here 3 plus minus. So plus into minus become minus, 3 minus 2 becomes I. So I into 1. You can write this as Z1 plus Z2 is equal to 5 plus I. This is the sum of these two complex numbers. Z1 is equal to 2 plus I into 3 and Z2 is equal to 3 minus I into 2. Take a pause and note on all the things what I have written here. Okay. Now dear children, we are moving to the next properties on addition of complex number. So ಯಾವ property follow ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು will discuss here. First property, closure law. So in the basically we have discussed sum of two complex numbers is again a complex number. So it means this number follows closure law. If you take any two natural numbers, so 4 and 6 are the natural numbers, again sum of 4 and 6 becomes again natural numbers. At the same time here also sum of any two complex number is again a complex number. So this state that's the sum of two complex numbers is again a complex number. That is Z1 plus Z2 is a complex number for all complex number Z1 and Z2. Or you can say another word, if Z1 and Z2 are the two complex number, then their sum Z1 plus Z2 is complex number. This is a first property or closure law. Please note it down. Two complex, sum of two complex number is again a complex number. And the second property, commutative law. This is very important. ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಸಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. So very simple ನೋಡಿ. If I take here 2 and 3, sum of 2 and 3, 2 plus 3 is equal to what? 5. So if I reverse this one, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. It means when the right hand side is equal, left hand side is also equal. It shows that 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. So this is nothing but commutative law or commutative property. A plus in general A plus B is equal to B plus A for all real numbers A and B. Here also in complex number which follows commutative law. It means when you take the two complex number Z1 and Z2, Z1 plus Z2 is equal to Z2 plus Z1. Now listen here. For any two complex number Z1 and Z2, Z1 plus Z2 is equal to Z2 plus Z1. Okay. Z1 plus Z2 is equal to Z2 plus Z1. It means the sum of two complex or addition of complex number follows commutative law. This is the second property. Please note it down. Now we are moving to the associative. Associative. It means you have to take the three numbers. So in general here also, if I add another number, 2 plus 3 plus 4. Then the number is 2 is there. So write as it is. 3 plus 4 becomes 7 is equal to what we left there? 9. Next I will rerun this as 2 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 2 plus 3 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ 5 plus 4. Here also it will get 9. So these two are equal. Here also when you get the three complex numbers Z1, Z2 and Z3, it follows Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 is equal to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. It means the addition of complex number follows associative law. Please note it down, associative law. And the next one is very important, existence of additive identity. Existence of additive identity. So it is also called additive identity law or identity law or identity property. So this property we will discuss here. There exists a complex number 0 plus I into 0. Here we have 0 plus I into 0. 0 plus I into 0 ಇದೆ. 0 plus I into 0 nothing but I into 0, anything multiplied by 0 again will left with 0. Total value ಏನಾಯ್ತು ನಮಗೆ 0. Okay, so existence of additive identity. So here 0 is called additive identity because so just we have that number 2. If I add any number to 2, again we get the same number. Okay, so 2 plus 0 is equal to ನಮಗೆ 2 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. At the same time 0 plus 2 is equal to 2 ನೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 0 is called additive identity. 0 is called additive identity. It means when you add identity to the number, we get the same number. 3 plus 0, 3. 5 plus 0, 5. 6 plus 0, 6. At the same time, 0 plus 6, that is also 6. This is called identity. There exists a complex number 0 plus I into 0 denoted by 0 called additive identity or 0 of the complex number such that for every complex number z which follow this condition, z plus 0 is equal to 0 plus z is equal to z. This is very important. Z plus 0 is equal to 0 plus z is equal to z. This is additive identity. Here 0 is called what? Additive identity. 0 is called additive identity of the complex number. This is 0 is called additive identity of the complex numbers. So take a pause and note on all the things what I have written here. Now dear children, I will give an example for existence of additive identity. If I take the complex number z is equal to 3 plus 2i. Z is equal to 3 plus 2i or 2i na ನಾವು I into 2 ಅಂದರೂ ಬರೀಬೋದು. Just observe here, additive identity means here 0 plus I into 0 ಅಲ್ವಾ, 0 plus I into 0. I will take this as here 0 is equal to 0 plus I into 0. And z plus 0 add ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. What is z here? Z is 3 plus 2i plus, so what about 0? 0 plus I into 0. Well, while adding two complex number, we must follow real part plus real part plus I into imaginary part plus imaginary part. Okay, so here for this one, real part is 3 plus here also real part is 0. 3 plus 0 plus I times of 2 and here 0 imaginary part. Add these two number. 3 plus 0 is again 3 plus I into 2 plus 0 ಇದೆ. So 2 plus 0 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ 2. So that is becomes 2 into I. This is z plus 0. At the same time, if I add 0 and z and 0 plus z add ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. What is 0 here? That is 0 of the complex number 0 plus I into 0 plus what is z? Z is the given complex number 3 plus 2i. If I add these two numbers, don't confuse it here I into 0 or 0 into I, both are same. Here also 2 into I or I into 2, so both are same. 0 plus 3 add real part plus here imaginary part is 0 plus I in times of imaginary part is 0 plus here also 2. So sum of these two become 3 plus again 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 into I. It is 0 plus z. What we left there is z plus 0. Again this is nothing but the given complex number is z. Therefore z plus 0 is equal to what? Z bantu. The other same thing. Similar at the same time 0 plus z is equal to what we left there? Z. This is the existence of additive identity. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳ? So next we are moving to the next property. So before going to the next property, please note it down all the things what I have written here. Now dear children, we are moving to the next property. Property number 5. This is existence of additive inverse. So previous case ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬಂತು ನಮಗೆ additive identity ಬಂತು. So now tell me what is the additive identity of the complex number z is 0 plus I into 0, or you can say another word is here 0. Z plus 0 is equal to 0 plus z is equal to what? Z. So now we are moving to the next one, the existence of additive inverse. So fourth property is additive identity and this property is additive inverse or inverse property. Just observe here. To every complex number z is equal to a plus ib, we have the complex number minus z is equal to, when you multiply by negative for the complex number, minus a plus I into minus b ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Call the additive inverse or negative of z. We have z plus minus of z is equal to minus z plus z is equal to what? 0 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Just observe here the last term ಏನಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ 0 means when we are adding the complex number z and minus z, the resultant become 0. ನಮಗೇನು ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 0 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 0 is called additive identity of the complex number z. Similarly here z plus minus z is equal to minus z plus z is equal to 0. Now we'll discuss here with an example. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ z is equal to ನಮಗೇನಿದೆ 3 plus 2i ಇದೆ and minus z ಹೇಳಿ minus z is equal to, if you multiply for this one by minus ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, what we left here minus 3 because plus ಆಗಿದೆ, so minus into plus become minus 3, minus into plus becomes minus 2 into I. We can write this as here minus z is equal to minus 3 plus I into minus 2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. This is the case. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳ? So now add ಮಾಡೋಣ z plus minus z, z plus minus z is equal to, what is z is here? 3 plus 2i plus, what is minus z ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, plus minus of 3 plus I into minus 2. Z plus of minus z is equal to, well, we are adding two complex number, we must follow real part plus real part. Real part here 3 and for this one minus 3. Or you can consider, we will write this as plus of minus 3 plus, here imaginary part is 2, I times of 2 plus of minus 2, 3 minus 3, plus into minus becomes minus, plus I times of 2 minus 2, z plus minus z, z plus minus z is equal to 0 plus I into 0. 0 plus I into 0 nothing but zeros of the complex number, or you can say another word here, additive identity of the complex number. Therefore z plus of minus z is equal to 0. At the same time minus z plus z, sum of these two becomes 0. Therefore 0 is called additive identity. So what about minus z? Minus z is called additive inverse of z. Okay. So previous property, e property observe ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, what we conclude here, when we have the z, the complex number z, for identity property z plus 0 is equal to 0 plus z is equal to z ಬರುತ್ತೆ, is equal to what we left there, z. At the same time for this property, inverse property, z plus minus z is equal to minus z plus z is equal to what, 0. Therefore 0 is called additive identity and minus z is called additive inverse of the complex number z. ನೋಡಿ, just observe here inverse property ನೋಡಿ. So if I add the additive inverse to the complex number, we left with 0. 0 is nothing but additive identity. This is the properties, property number 5. So take a pause and note on all the things what I have written here. Now dear students, we are moving to the difference of two complex numbers. Before going to discuss about the difference of two complex number, let we have the quick recap on properties of addition of complex number. So ಯಾವ property follow ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? First one, closure property, sum of any two complex number is again a complex number. Second one, commutative property, it means when you take the two complex numbers z1 and z2, z1 plus z2 is equal to z2 plus z1. This is the property number 2. And the third one, associative property. Associative property ಯಾವ ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ? If I take 2, 3 complex number z1, z2, z3, z1 plus z2 plus z3 is equal to z1 plus z2 plus z3. This is the property number 3, associative law. And the fourth one, existence of additive identity or identity law. Okay, z1 plus 0 is equal to 0 plus z1 is equal to z1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. If you take particularly z ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ z plus 0 is equal to 0 plus z is equal to ನಮಗೆ z ಬರಬೇಕು. So what about last one, fifth property ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Fifth property ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ? This is existence of additive inverse. Now z number complex number ಇದೆ. If I add the number to this number, the resultant ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಸಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ we left with additive identity, that is nothing but 0. z plus of minus z is equal to 0. At the same time minus z plus z is equal to 0. So just observe the properties. Here the important is addition of two complex numbers. Add ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So which property they follow, that is very important. So next we are moving to the next one, difference of two complex numbers. So ಯಾವ ತರ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? So it follows the same what we are using in the addition of two complex number. ಅಲ್ಲಿ add ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ real part plus real part, but in case of difference, imaginary part minus imaginary part and real part minus real part. It follows the same condition. Just observe here. Let Z1 is equal to A plus IB and Z2 is equal to C minus ID be the two complex numbers, then the difference Z1 minus Z2 is defined as Z1 minus Z2 is equal to A minus C plus I into B minus D. Alright, here we have Z1 is equal to A plus IB there, and Z2 is equal to C plus ID. How to find the difference? Z1 minus Z2 is equal to A minus C plus I into B minus D. So previous case ಅಲ್ಲಿ observe ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ when we are finding the addition of two complex number ಅಲ್ಲಿ A plus C ಇತ್ತು. It means real part of Z1 plus real part of Z2 plus I times of imaginary part of Z1 plus imaginary part of Z2 ಇತ್ತು. But in case of difference just positive sign changes as negative. ಇಲ್ಲಿ plus ಆಗೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So this can be written as Z1 minus Z2 is equal to, ನೋಡಿ A ಇದು, what is A is real part of what? Z1. RE of Z1 plus, sorry, minus RE of Z2. Real part of Z1 minus real part of Z2 plus I times of imaginary part of Z1 minus imaginary part of Z2. This is the method to find the difference of two complex numbers. Therefore, Z1 minus Z2 is equal to A minus C plus I times of B minus D. This is the difference of two complex number. So please note it down, all the things what displayed here and this one. Now dear children, we are moving to the one example on difference of two complex numbers. Okay, and also, so in a previous case, sum of two complex numbers again, sum of two complex number is again a complex number. At the same time, the difference of any two complex numbers is again a complex numbers. Now we move to the one example. 2 plus I into 3 minus 3 minus I into 2 ಇದೆ. If I take first one as Z1 and second number as Z2, let Z1 is equal to 2 plus I into 3 and Z2 is equal to 3 minus I into 2. Already difference ಇದೆ, they are already given. So 3 minus 2 into I into 2, or this is Z1, this is Z2. ನಮಗೆ ಇದೆ Z1 minus Z2 ಇದೆ. Now Z1 minus Z2 is equal to, first write here, Z1 ಏನಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ 2 plus I into 3 minus, what is Z2? 3 minus I into 2. So in the case of difference of two complex number, here also we follow real part minus real part. What is the real part of Z1 is 2 minus real part of Z2 is 3. 2 minus 3 plus I times of, now tell me what is the imaginary part of Z1 is plus 3. Very good. What about imaginary part of this number? Second one, ನೋಡಿ minus 2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This becomes minus of minus 2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳ? Minus of minus 2. So what is minus ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ Z1 minus imaginary part of Z2. Imaginary part of Z1 is 3, imaginary part of Z2 is minus 2. We have the difference here, minus of minus 2. This becomes 2 minus 3 is minus 1 plus I times of 3 minus into minus becomes plus 3 plus 2. This is minus 1 plus 5 into I. This is Z1 minus Z2. It's a difference of two complex numbers. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳ? ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೂ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾಲೋ ರಿಯಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ imaginary part minus imaginary part. Real part of first one minus real part of second complex number plus items of imaginary part of first complex number minus imaginary part of second complex number. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳ? Take a pause and note on all the things what I have written here. Now dear students, so totally in this class we had a discussion on addition of two complex number and their properties, and second one difference of two complex numbers. In addition of two complex number, real part, if I take z1 and z2, real part of z1 plus real part of z2 plus items of real part of z1 minus real part of z2. Okay, in the case of difference of two complex number, z1 minus z2, real part of z1 minus real part of z2 plus items of imaginary part of z1 minus imaginary part of z2. So in our next class we are going to discuss about the rest of the algebraic operations. Next in the operations, multiplication and division of two complex number. Just observe the properties ಅಷ್ಟೇ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. This is not that much of important, but the real pictures comes from modulus, conjugate and polar representation of the complex number. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ಫಾಲೋ 5 ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್. ಸೇಮ್ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮ್ಯುಟೇಟಿವ್, ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ, ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟಿವ್, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಸ್, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಆಲ್.